This is Annie.
Hi.
Annie thinks she has good oral care,
Yep, I brush every day, twice a day.
but she's actually being a little oral careless.
Wait, what?
See, rinsing with act-restoring mouthwash helps you go beyond brushing.
How's it do that?
It actually strengthens your enamel,
Oh, that's good.
and it even protects your teeth from harmful acids.
That's really good. 'Cause I love my coffee.
So don't be oral careless, people. Use act-restoring mouthwash every day.
I'll be swishing tonight.
Good job, Annie.
At just 23 years old, rapper Lil Baby has already enjoyed a string of hit singles and a Drake cosign. Listen now to discover why some are hyping him as future Atlanta rap royalty. Brought to you by Spotify's Emerging Artist Program Rise, in partnership with Aloft Hotels.
Rain! It's time to game. Welcome to Etc. Actually, we're not gaming tonight. Tonight we are building. We're going to build a PC. Let's move this a little bit out of the way. At my one of my good friends asked me to build for him. We said he sent me some money. I ordered the parts, and now we are going to put them together. Let me see if I can get I'm gonna jump this my chat. I'm gonna pop my chat out so I can put it on my big screen here in front of me, so that we can minimize a bunch of stuff. And all I want to see is the chat. I don't know how to make it bigger though. How you guys doing? As you can see, I have a friend over here to the right. Let me know how I hear, how I sound. If you would please. I'm going to turn this music off for now. You don't need that background stuff. I'm not sure how loud it was, or even how loud I am, because I turned off all my other computers except for one. This one. Okay, so we are starting out with a Corsair 200R, the same case that I used previously. I'll take these off as well. I don't need to hear that. Here it is. Bada boom, bada bing. And there's the front of it. It's very simple. It's a very simple case. Power, restart. 2 USB ports up front. Speaker, headphones, and microphone. It does have 3 slots up here if you need to do CD-ROM drive. If anyone ever does that anymore, I don't know. I'm going to pull it apart because there's stuff inside we need to get out. I'm going to take both the front and back plates off. And inside you will find parts for system. Let me just up a little bit more there, maybe. So here's the 200R parts. It does come with 2 fans, one in the front, one in the front right here, and one in the back. It has your 3 big drives up front, and then here we have, there's space for actually 4 SSD drives right here, Then we have space for more mechanical drives. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, regular 3.5-inch mechanical drives. Pretty nice. Our cable's all tied up, and we'll be messing with this a little bit later. I'm gonna take the back plate off as well. It's supposed to be a toolless case. It mostly is, though I always have a screwdriver prepared. So you can take the back off as well, which gives you space to do your cable management and stuff all back here. And it has a couple to high down port points here. Not a lot, but enough. Okay. So inside a little box here, I don't know what the camera's going to be focusing on. Hopefully it focuses on the computer more than it does me. So inside our box, we are going to have, you gotta be kidding me, right? Hold on. Hello. Hey, I'm streaming. What's up? Hurry up. No. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Bye-bye. That was my dad. Sorry. He wanted to know if he had a 100-foot cat cable. Does it matter if it's Cat 5 or Cat 6? I don't think it matters. I don't think it's gonna matter. So we have some zip ties in here, and then we have all the screws that we're gonna need for system. Hard drive screws, fan screws, what the hell are these called? Your yeah, these things. Put your motherboard on. Sometimes I think, how much do I actually really play with? Do I know about computers? The motherboard studs, I guess you can call them. I'm not really sure. No. But we're not going to need these yet, so we're just going to put this to the side. And we're going to put this to the side. I just wanted to show you the case that we're using. So back here, I'm going to, it's a little, so I can see it. I'm gonna adjust this here. Hold on. This is my microphone. I'm gonna put it a bit higher so I can kind of see what the hell I'm doing. Hopefully it's picking up okay. There, now I can actually see myself in real time and I don't have to have a delayed time on this thing. Cool. Okay, so I don't know if you can see back here is all the parts. Got 16 gig of RAM. Corsair Vengeance DDR4 3000 megahertz. Got a 1 gigabyte SSD drive. 1 terabyte SSD drive. We got the Intel Core i7 8700. We have a 2 terabyte mechanical hard drive for backup and stuff, storage. We got a Protus, I don't know how to say that word, Protus Spectrum G502 Logitech mouse. Pretty nice mouse. I like it. Let me show you why I like it. Does it look the same? Wait, if I do it like that, does it look the same? Pretty much the same mouse that I have. I like it. It has a thumb rest on it. On the side here. See, this doesn't have that blue part. They don't actually make this model anymore. Though it says G502. This is a G502. So, it's nice. It's got a heavy wheel on it. It's got different DPI you can set. And it's got weights in it too. So if you like a lighter mouse or a heavier mouse, you can change that as well. We're going with this old reliable, the Gigabyte Z370 XP. Extra durable motherboard. That's what it says. Sorry, ultra durable. Extra, ultra, same thing, right? I got the old reliable H60 Corsair all-in-one water cooler. I got the TX750 M, stands for modular. I only bought a 650 watt one, but Dennis asked for a larger one in case he wanted to, because he's going to be putting more hard drives in than I have in my system. And this is more than enough. Even if he puts a second video card in, it's going to be more than enough for what he's doing. And the last thing we got was a Gigabyte GTX 1070 Ti. It's got the WindForce 3X cooling system. It's got one DVI port, 3 display ports, and an HDMI port on the back of it. And is it the Fusion? Oh, it does. So you can like change the color of the wording on the outside of the card. Really cool if you're into that. So these are the parts that we will be working with tonight. As you can see, this is a blind build because nothing has been taken apart. Nothing has been tested. It's coming straight out of the box. And I hope it's all there, because if it's not, I'm going to be pissed. So we're going to start out with, of course, memory, CPU, and our motherboard. And I'm going to probably have to push the cat off the table here because I really don't want him up here. And he's going to get mad. You know how Vader is. He doesn't get his way. Now he's like spread out all over the damn place. He's gonna bite me, watch. He will. Okay, hey music dude. Oh, let me put my glasses on. Here. How are you doing, sir? Please let me know if the sound is okay. If the cat hair on my microphone. Okay. So I'm gonna get rid of him. Come on, buddy. We don't need any extra static electricity up here. Touch some metal stuff. It's okay, great. Thank you for letting me know that. It's in sync too, right? It better be. So here is our motherboard. And let's see what type of goodies comes with this thing. Here's our back plate. That's important. Our multilingual installation guide. Our ultra durable sticker. Our special adapter to make things a little easier. Comes with 4 SATA cables. And then a driver CD, which we won't use because we don't have a CD-ROM drive, and then the book for it, which again is an important part a little bit later on if we need it, hopefully. Hopefully we won't need it. Okay. So I always build it outside the box here. And we use this as a base. What's cool is this motherboard also has RGB built into it, so Dennis could actually like add light strips and he could coordinate all his RGB together. Okay. So, try to only touch the parts of the motherboard that you have to touch. Avoid touching, you know, try to avoid touching all the metal parts if you can. If you're able to. It's kind of hard, but, you know, just do your best. Tuck that tape under there. So here's our Gigabyte motherboard. Ultra durable. It's got 4 slots for RAM. It has 3 slots, 3 PCI 16-bit slots, and 6 SATA slots. But it also has a built-in M.2 memory that you can put into it if you want to do that. So I'm going to pull off this plastic here first. Good. Okay. And we're gonna get rid of this. It is, it's simple. It's simple gray and white. Which is nice. Okay, so we're gonna pop our RAM in, and sometimes it tells you on the board, and I think this tells you on the board here. So DIMM 1324. And typically in your motherboard book, you have go to memory in your index. Installing memory, page 9. Find page 9 in here. Page 9, installing memory. And you want to do, the 4 memory slots are divided into 2 channels, and each channel has 2 memory sockets as following. Channel A is 2 and 4, channel B is 1 and 3. So if you have 2 modules, it says to put the memory into 2 and 1. So on our motherboard here, channel 1 is this one, and channel 2 is this one. So it's the 2 gray, ones here. Those are the ones we're going to put the memory into. What RAM? It's Corsair Vengeance LPX. A 2 8 gig sticks for a total of 16 at 3000 megahertz. That's what we got here. I'm gonna pull out the old the old trusty buck knife. Pull these out. And these aren't like fancy RAM chips. They're just, you know, the basic. And it looks like it has a plastic on the chip, so sure does. Put this crap everywhere, so you gotta be careful. So chips are keyed so that you can only put them in one way. You see the slot there on the chip, on the bottom of the chip? Hey, chip girl. You send me some, you PayPal me the cash, I'll build you a computer. Okay, so it goes like this. Because it's only gonna fit one way with that slot, okay? And then pop it in. The sides will pop up and the chip is set. Okay, don't touch the metal. Don't touch the metal parts. The gold. Wow, that looks crappy, doesn't it? Huh. That looks, it doesn't look it straight across. I'm gonna pop this out and look at this one. Is that the way they look nowadays? Yeah, it is. Huh. Okay. I would thought that your pins here at the bottom would go straight across, but they kind of curve downwards a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to pull the plastic off. Can you lick them? Only after you've installed them can you lick them. Can you lick the pins? Okay, so pull off that plastic crap. There's a trash can right there, I promised you that. And we're going to input this into slot 2. Oh, I should have done the processor first. I guess it doesn't matter too much, right? We should be able to do this. Okay, let's get that out of the way. And this is our processor. It's a Intel Core i7. It's the 8700. It's not clockable. It's the unclockable one. But I know that Dennis isn't gonna overclock his motherboard. I'm not gonna overclock it either. Ooh. And I'm sure there'll be people out there going, why didn't you get the 8700K? Well, you can overclock it. Because we don't need to overclock it, that's why. Okay, so we're gonna pull this puppy out of here. We should get another sticker. Yeah, there is. Actually, the sticker is actually attached to the booklet. There is. Okay, it does come with your basic Intel heatsink. Let's pull this apart here and then take a look at it real quick. So here's your basic Intel heatsink. If you don't buy one, buy an aftermarket heatsink and or an all-in-one cooler or whatever. It does come with one if you buy the correct one. And it also comes with this chip here. This is the important thing. Okay. So here's a processor. Put this away. Because we're not going to need any of that stuff. The book in here. In case Dennis wants it. You should be able to use this heatsink to keep it cool. Depending on where you're sitting, I guess. If you're in an air-conditioned room or not. Okay. So on your motherboard, you have your. I'm gonna have to pull out the old lady, the old granny glasses. You don't think that really? You don't think that would? Why would it come with it if it's not even gonna work? You're just doing like web surfing and stuff. It would work fine. So on your chip, there is a dot in one corner, okay, and an arrow. So there's the arrow. There's the dot. Typically on your processor here, you're going to see it has a clip where you unclip it here. Okay, don't take off the protective cover. Just leave it on for now. Okay, so once you open that up, you'll see there's an arrow, a big arrow right here on your motherboard. So that arrow has to line up with the arrow on the corner of your chip. So that arrow has to line up with that arrow when you're placing it down in there. And do not touch the pins on the bottom of your processor, okay? No chance you can keep at normal temps. I mean, what's the point of buying an i7 if you're only using 10% of it? Yeah, you're right. I don't know. It's something, right? It's at least something until you get something better. How's that? And it's a good for backup, right? So if something goes wrong with the current one that you have, you put that one on there so you can at least get to Amazon to order a new one. Okay, we're not taking out the trash tonight. Not full, so we're gonna ignore that. Okay. So, lining up before you take it out of the package, right? So the arrow is again on this corner here, and the arrow is here. So we're gonna pull it straight out. We're gonna drop it right down in, right on top. Okay. So it's down, in, and on. I don't want to lift this too high. Okay, the arrow is there, and the arrow on your motherboard is here. And all we do is close it up, and this protective cover will pop off. It has to go underneath the screw, and then when you push it down, that protective cover will pop off automatically and lock it in. Protective cover off. Processor is locked in. Way to go. Good job. We are getting there, right? Too bad this doesn't fit in this damn thing, huh? We're gonna put this all back into the original box that it came out of because we don't want to lose parts. Where in here I'm gonna put it, I have no clue. Gonna make me take it all the way apart again. Just pain in the ass. Okay, so let's take it all apart again. So put this here. I guess like that. Let's see if we can get this other part slid in here somewhere. This is like the exact size that you don't want it to be. Okay, there we go. There's no extra space in this thing. And it goes like that. And put the book in here. We're done with that. Okay, so our next step, I would say would be to mount the motherboard inside of the case. Where'd the cat go? He's under the table. I don't want to run over him. So move that to the side a little bit here. We're gonna have to find the screws for this in our screw box here. Which we're gonna have to find the screws that go into our standoffs that go into motherboard. And they're usually pretty small ones. Okay, so that's not them. That's not them. Those are standoffs. And this is hard to tell. We have some tie downs, and these are, we'll use these later after everything's in and everything's turned on, everything's wired up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test this. I'm going to test these screws and see which one goes actually into the standoff to make sure we get the right screws before we go and okay, so that does not feel right. So get rid of those. Those are probably for the hard drives then, the SSD drives. And let's test these. See if these go in here. Okay, so those go in. Hopefully those are long enough. Okay. So let's get our case up here. It's an aluminum case, and it's not high construction steel, let's just say that. Okay, so I know we're going to be wanting to replace this rear fan that is, it should be blowing air out. I'll look at it when we pull it out, because the sticker is on this side. So let's pull this apart. And that screwdriver is, okay. Well, we have a different one here. You can at least see the case. You don't need to see me, right? Okay, so this fan comes right out, and on the fan itself, okay, so it shows you the air is blowing, shows you which way the air is blowing and which way the fan spins. There's you probably can't see it, but on there it tells you which way the air blows. So the air was blowing out of the case, and we're going to stick with that because we have one fan in the front that's blowing into the case. And so this one we want blowing out on the back. We don't want to mess that up. So we have fresh air coming in and then hot air going out. Okay. Good job. I'm going to unscrew these, twist tie these cables. These are all the cables that are going to hook up to your motherboard, to your hard drive, all that stuff. that gets your and your buttons on the front there, and your USB connector on the front as well. Okay, so we're just going to pull these out here and tuck them to the side if we can. Okay, so your motherboard sits inside. Oh, before we do that, your back plate for the back plate for your motherboard. And this is even flimsier aluminum. So just so you know, on your motherboard here, when it sits into your case, let's try to put it all the same way here. So we're looking at it like this, right? You can see this here is where this aluminum is going to go, and it goes from the inside, okay? But you also need to make sure that it's sitting the correct way, and the correct way is with your audio jack holes on the inside and your PS2 connectors. I don't know if you can see it on the motherboard over here on the outside, okay? And this pushes in from the back, from the inside. And I always stand it up like this, and it makes it a little bit easier to get in. Okay. So there you go. Mounted. Okay. This case has one of the standoffs has a pin, so it's pretty nice that once you get it set in, this pin will hold the motherboard mostly in place. So it's not rocking. It's at least in the middle. It's going to be held, which is pretty nice. So what I do is I line up the let me lift this up on this box here. A little bit easier to see. I think you can see at the very bottom there. So I line up the audio jacks when you're sliding the motherboard in, because you're going to slide it in. You're going to slide it in at an angle, a little bit of an angle to get it in there, and then like I said, this one has a little standoff that's got a pin on it, so it holds it into place. So it's most likely set. Okay, just look to see that you can see all your ports, and they all appear to be accessible. And your audio ports are actually sticking out a little bit, which they should be, right? So you can access. So now we're going to put in the standoff screws. These little tiny puppies. We actually might need a smaller screwdriver for this. Okay, and do not crank them down, just put them in there softly. At first, just want to get them in at first. And if you had a magnetic screwdriver, it'd be probably like 10 times easier than what I'm doing right now. What do I do with those screws? There they are. So there's at least 5 spots on here that you can screw it in. Some of them are in a lot tighter spots than others. This motherboard's going in the easiest of all the ones I've done this year. Knock on wood. Somebody knock on wood for me. Knock, knock. So this back corner one is the hardest. And I really need to get a bench that's like 6 inches taller because my back starts hurting. My back's already hurting from leaning over like this. Because I'm old. Okay. I'm gonna skip that one for now. I'm gonna skip that one for now. And let's put this one in here. Well, okay. I'm gonna move this back out of the way here. So you know what I'm doing, so I'm just trying to do it. Making it easy for myself here. We can. Okay, so 1, 2. 3, 4, and then this thing back here. What a pain in the ass this one is. Did I miss? I totally missed it. Where the hell did it go? Oh no. Okay. There it is right there. Fall out. There we go. Try it again. Let's try this again. There's just no easy way to do this. Because there's at least 2 other pieces of plastic all around the stupid thing. How I did it last time is beyond me. Yes, I got it. All right. If this screwdriver will work on these. Two. Four. Okay, we just do those finger tight. Okay, don't crank them down. You don't have to crank them down. You just need it to hold the motherboard firmly in its slot here. Okay, there we go, mounted. Not too much of an issue there. So, okay. Next piece of the puzzle. That. So let's hook up all our cables to the motherboard now that it's in here. Okay. So we have a front fan, and we're going to plug that into a fan header. And again, all your stuff on your motherboard should be labeled. 90% of the stuff on your motherboard is going to have a label. Okay. System fan, CPU fan, GPU optional fan, or does that say CPU optional fan? I know there's some more. I think there's one down here, CPU fan, system fan 3. So there's at least 3 system fans, and then there's your your CPU fan, and then there's an optional CPU fan. So this one's the closest, so we're just going to plug it right into the system fan number 2 header. Okay. Most of the system fan headers are 4-pin, and a lot of the regular normal fans that just spin are 3 pins. So there is a slot that it goes onto, so you'll see on the plastic of the pin here that it's got a slot there. And actually on your CPU header there is 3 of the pins will have a black sheath, I guess. I'm not sure what you would call it. And so it goes on those 3, not the other 3. It won't really fit the other way unless you force it. Okay. And you just push it down onto the motherboard into that system fan header. That's it. So we pushed it into this one right here, and there'll be 1 open pin. Right. So this I only know because we've done this before. This goes to the 2 USB ports at the front of your system, and this is a USB 3. So we're going to plug that one into here. And there is actually 2 USB 3 headers here, number 1 and number 2. So I'm going to plug this into number 1 because this is going to go out the front. And again, this is keyed so that it will only go into that slot one way. And it goes this way. Okay. Pop right down on there. Good to go. So that makes these two ports up here active. These two USB ports up here. And they're actually 3.0 ports. Because they're blue. Usually the blue ones mean they're 3.0. If they're white or black, normally they're 2.0. Okay, we have your audio, and this goes to the headers up here. Your microphone and your headphone jack up front if you want to use those. You can, and you plug this into the audio. Somewheres. I'm gonna route this through the back. Just hammer it down, that always works. Okay, I'm gonna pull this kind of backwards too. The stuff's in the back. Okay. Okay. Because we want to tie these cables, these long ass cables, on the back here. I'm going to tie those down so they're not inside the case, disrupting airflow. Okay, so there is somewheres down here, there is a audio, and here's a, and it, I found it, excuse me, it's right here. And this one's a little funky because this goes right above the power supply, and so it's a little tight to get the power supply in there, and you can route the cable the way you need to route it. Okay. And this is also keyed. There's one pin. There's no hole for one pin, so there's a missing pin, and there's not a hole there. So just make sure you push it on down here the correct way, where the one pin is missing, and you'll be fine. Yeah, and don't hammer it, just push it in gently. Okay. Doesn't feel right. Don't know why. Okay. That felt better, but it gets tested at the end, so make sure that it's okay. But that plugged in here, and this port says audio right above it, and it actually says it inside the port itself as well. Audio. Probably can't see that, but you get the gist of it, right? Okay, so now we have all these little cables, and these are for your like your hard drive light, your reset switch, your power switch. Let's see what they say on here. Your power switch, your reset switch, your hard drive LED, and then it says power LED. This is always this is probably the most confusing part of the entire build. Figuring out what each of those stupid little things do. Okay. So it comes with this little, it's called a G connector. I guess that stands for gigabyte connector. The problem is it says the same thing on two sides. So in essence, you plug these little things into here, and then this plugs into your motherboard, which makes it 100% easier when you do that. But trying to figure out which one goes to which, and I'm gonna have to put on my. These aren't my glasses. These are Roseanne's, so I can read this stupid little print here. Okay. So power switch, this one. That one should be easy, right? Okay, hard drive, power LED, power. See, it says power LED, and then it says power LED on this side as well. Okay, so power switch goes here. This says power switch, right? I hope. Okay, so that's a three pin power LED, and these are two, so I'm going to use this one that's only two. So the power LED plus and minus, these actually have to go in the right order here. Okay, plus is on the outside, minus is on the inside. Power LED, and these go in here because this is the two switch side, the two pin side, I should say, right? Okay, and they just kind of snap in there just a little bit. Not the greatest thing in the world, but it works, right? And on this side is the HDD LED. And here's the HD. So that goes here. We can get it in there. Okay, and it snaps down under that little clip there. So there's our HD light drive, and then our reset switch, and then there it says reset right here. All right, and that's all the cables that will hook up. That will hook up your power switch, reset switch, and then the lights, your power light, and then your hard drive light. So when your hard drive's active, you know, the little light flickers up here. So this plugs down onto your motherboard. And now we need to figure out on the motherboard how this goes in. So it's a multicolored switch here. It's a multicolored connector here is what it plugs into. I guess we can tighten that down a little bit, huh? That's really loose. Okay, there we go. Don't drop it. Okay, so I'm going to run these through the back again. Run these through the back and then down here to the bottom. And hopefully we can just pull it in right through this bottom grommet here, grommet hole. And then again, we need to figure out which side is which. Okay, so this says speaker and then power LED. And there's only one side that has speaker, and that's this side. So this goes that end. So it goes in like this. And you want to do it a little, give it a little shimmy. It'll help the pins find the holes. And then make sure they're seated inside there. And that should be it. Okay. Now all the primary stuff on our case is hooked up. Our front fan, our connector ports up front are all connected up. And the next thing I usually do is, I guess we're going to look to put in the power supply. And this is a Corsair power supply. They're probably at least got the packaging is open, right? But I didn't. So after you're done playing with plastic like that, at least touch the case on your thing. Don't touch your motherboard, touch the case. Getting that static electricity out of your system, if you got any. Okay, so here's some more tie downs, cable tie downs, your books, your instruction manuals. Instruction manuals nowadays take, like, this is the whole TXM series. It's the 550, the 650, the 750, and the 850 modular. And this is a semi-modular power supply. And it comes with your power cord. And then it comes with all of your modules. Put that there, get rid of these. That's some more plastic crap. So much plastic. And these components that are static electricity sensitive, wrapped in plastic. Okay, so this is our 750 modular. This is semi-modular, and it's semi-modular because the main power connectors are connected, okay? But the other ones, you can plug in. You can see there. So there's two peripheral SATA and four peripheral SATA and two PCI plugins here. And I don't see the screws. They sent me a power supply with, oh wait, they're probably in here. Here they are. I found them. I was gonna say, we do have some that came with the case, but you won't try to use the ones that comes with the equipment, right? Because you know those are set up for that. It comes with four. That's it. Just four. Just four. Okay, so the fan is going to face down because this fan it actually pulls air in from the bottom of the power supply and actually ejects it out the back through this fine grate. Okay, so that is going to go down the bottom of your case. What's cool about this case, it actually has a filter here that you can clean. Helps keep clean air going in, and you can actually clean that. It's pretty nice. Okay. Okay, so cables are going to go inside your case. This grate is going to stick out the back, and you just gotta. There's actually a little piece of metal in here that holds the power supply down. Okay, so there we go. Push in. There is a piece of metal across the top here, which will hold it down. And then you slide it back so that it's flush, and then that's when you put the screws in here. And I always try to get them in first before I start cranking things down, just in case. Figure out which holes it lines up with. And I typically always put all 4 in. And looks like it could be either of these, but I'm going to put it in that one. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to set it on its face. Screw these in tighter. And again, I do it in a cross pattern. One corner to the other corner. Opposite sides. Screw this in, and screw that last one in. And again, I'm just doing it finger tight. You don't have to crank them down. Okay, you're not going to be jockeying your CPU and computer around all the time. So there you go. Power supply is mounted. Some people pull these stickers off so that the system has a common color. So sometimes these are like yellow or orange or something like that, but this actually matches the motherboard. The gray tone, white kind of pale gray tones, which aren't that bad. Okay, so our 2 primary cables coming out of the power supply. These are ones that are going to charge your motherboard, okay? So we have the motherboard connector, which is a 24-pin connector. And then we have an 8-pin connector, and this is your actual CPU. This is what powers your CPU. And again, we're going to run them through the back through here, because they have to come up to the very top. Because they plug into the motherboard. Well, your 12 volt plugs into the motherboard at the very top corner up here. So we're going to wedge this thing in through here. Hopefully. There we go. Okay. And it's just long enough. Sometimes these cables aren't long enough to reach all the way up there, depending on how big your case is. If you have like a tower case, sometimes you have to get an extender. Okay, so this is also keyed, so it only goes on one way. Okay. So now it's plugged in. Then your cable, later on we'll tie these down. So that we'll try to get them to lay flat around on the back of your system. Okay, so this one actually goes into the side of your motherboard. And it's right here. So we're gonna pull it up through this top connector. Top hole there, I don't know what that is, grommet. It's not really a grommet, but it's close enough, right? And go ahead and bend this because it's gonna get bent anyway. Because you want it to plug in and then move away from your motherboard. And again, this is keyed as well, so this only goes in one way. Okay. And then once it's in, there is a clip on it that if you were to try to just pull it straight off, it's not going to come out. You have to actually depress the clip on the side to actually remove it. Okay. So there we go. There's our motherboard power plugged in. Pretty simple. Not that hard. Okay. Next piece of the puzzle. What do we have left? So we have our video card, which I'm going to do last. So let's plug in our hard drives. Once again, we have a one terabyte solid state drive, a Crucial MX 500. And then we have a 2 terabyte mechanical drive. Wow, this is totally sealed. Usually it's taped, but this is just totally sealed. Okay, so this is a 2 terabyte Seagate Barracuda. And this actually just will slide. This should slide and lock itself in. And this, we'll put it in the top slot here, I guess. All right, let's try it out and see what happens. Well, the locking mechanism wants it to go down one more little inch there, but it's not going down. See. Because we can't have it sticking out like that, right? That's not locked in. So I just pulled it off because it's just on a hinge, but it won't go down any further. Why is it not going down? It's at the bottom. The drive's just too big. That's fine because there is a slot here where we can screw it in. Okay. So we're gonna have to screw it in because that does not work. I'm telling you right now, it does not work. No, it's the drive is too long. Or this, the catch here doesn't fit. Huh. It's in there, it's flush right now. That's the way you want it to be. But the locking mechanism is like a 1/4 inch too short to snap in. Because typically it would catch, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but typically on the side of the hard, you know, where you would put a normal screw on a hard drive, the silver hole right here is where it would catch, but it's too high. It doesn't fit there. So we'll have to get a screw and mount it somewhere. We can, but it's pretty tight in there. It's not going to jiggle around. So we'll have to see. So I did pull this off, and it's not going to go back on, that I can tell. Okay, so that's that drive. So we're moving on to the next drive. The SATA drive. This one does come with a spacer if you need it, but I found that it won't fit in here with the spacer, so we're just gonna put the drive in. And put it in the bottom one, so if we put more in later, it's easier to put in, I think. Okay, and again, it slides right in, and this does come with, the holes actually match on these, and you will want to put a screw in here, at least one. And it's these tiny screws. Okay, and one screw should be enough. These drives don't move, they don't flex, they don't do anything. They're solid state, man. They don't make noise, they don't spin. And there you go. That's in there as well. So those are 2 drives. So let's pull out the cables for these SATA drives. Okay. So here's one of the SATA drives, and we're going to need the well, SATA power cord, and then the SATA cables themselves. Okay. And these are sealed. Sealed very well. Okay, so we're going to use this to plug in to our SATA drives for power. And I'm going to use the bottom inside connector, so that if we need to add more later, it's easier to access the ones on the outside than it is the one that access the port behind a port, you know? Okay. So this is just gonna plug. Let's see how far we can go with this. So we can do these are also keyed. It's actually an L shape on the connector there. So just line up the L's. And its way. Okay. And then I'm going to use the next closest one that I can. And I know my friend said he has another 2 more drives. So I don't know if he has another. I know he has another mechanical drive. I'm not sure if it's 2 mechanical drives he has or if it's 2 SATAs. 2 SSDs, I mean, sorry. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to use a second one. And we're going to go with this here. I'm going to use this one on his hard drives here. And he'll have plenty of connectors to connect the other drives that he needs to plug in that are going to be slid into this slot here. Okay, so that's what we'll do for this here. Okay, and we'll tuck that, the rest of that into there, into the drive bays itself. So we don't have to worry about that. Pretty nice. Let's see what else we got in here. Got a bunch of cables we don't need, looks like. That goes from 1 to... We'll have to see what power that power supply takes. Okay. So that's plugged in. Now we need to look at the actual SATA cables. And since he's going to have drives in this outer bay, I'm going to use these L-type connectors on those drives. Actually, am I doing this upside down? Am I doing this wrong? Did I push these drives in the other way? That's the question. I wonder if that's what it is. So these actually plug into the hard drives on the back side of the... on the back side. No, because there's a flange there, it looks like. Nope, there's a flange there, so that's not the way it goes. Okay. That's fine. I'm just hoping that there's enough space to put the side cover on when these cables are here. I don't know if there is. I guess we'll find out. Okay. So let's plug this back in. Because look how far that sticks out. Right? That sticks out past the WTF. I mean, that's pushing that's pushing it out. I'm kind of looking to see here on the instructions on how it wants us to put the hard drives in. That's the way it says to put them in. Okay, well, let's use this L cable and see what we get. That one will be fine. Okay. And we can use a straight one for here, probably. Okay. So I'm going to plug the boot up SATA drive into SATA slot 0. Should be that one. And I'm going to plug the second one into SATA slot 1 is that one. Okay. What a cable mess. What a cable mess. Okay. Okay, let's get rid of some of this stuff that we're not going to need. We are going to need a PCIe cable. I think we're going to need one, I think. Hopefully. Okay. Let's... Everything says Corsair on it, so it's hard to remember what goes where. Hard drive is there. So what is next here? Actually, what do I have left? The cooler and the video card, right? Is that it? That should be it. Power supply, hard drives, they're plugged in and they have power. Okay. Open this up. Let me do something real quick here. Oh, there's Music Maker 1987. Sorry, I didn't even see you. Chat, if you're still watching, hello, how are you doing? Need to see if Dennis is here. Okay. I mean, it's his PC, man. Am I a Corsair fanatic? You know, when you find something and it works, you kind of stick with it, right? I think that's the biggest thing. Okay. He's like, I was like, okay though. Not a fan of their cases. They have a ton of cases. Obviously, I'm not a fan of their cases right now. Either. Oh my god, I hate freaking spell check. Sorry, I'm trying to get a hold of Dennis. He's the owner of this machine. But it's hard because this current computer is not working very well. So, wanted them to watch. Let's put this fan in here as an iPhone. And here are the parts. Parts is parts. Here is the cooler. It's an all-in-one cooler. Okay, let's put this down. I'm gonna need the book to figure out what screws we need. Okay. This is always the harder part. Okay, so it comes with special screws that we're gonna need to put in and brackets. I'm gonna need this bracket, I know that. The other bracket in there is for an AMD processor. Don't need that bracket. We're gonna need to figure out what screws we need. There are a ton of screws in here. Okay, I think we use the long ones from previous. And need these screws. Tighten it down. And washers. Need washers? Okay, let's see. Included hardware. The back plate. I should know what all this stuff is, but I don't. So it's an LGA 1151. So we need the LGA 1151 screws. Those are the B screws. And the B screws are the ones that are equal on both sides. Okay, so we got those right. That's good. Those are the standoff screws. So these are for the fan, and the washers are for the fan. Those are already attached. Why is it showing me those screws? You don't need those screws. AMD. I've never used an AMD product. Not saying that they're not any good. I just have never used one. Just never used them, purchased them. Okay, so on the back of our motherboard is where we're going to set this back plate. So in most all motherboards nowadays, there's holes where you put those. We're going to put this. And these little things slide in and out depending on where the holes are at. And then this is 3M double-sided sticky tape. So I usually line it up first, try to get the spacing down first. Okay. Okay. And then you pull off the double-sided tape here, the sticky tape. By the time Dennis gets on to see what I'm doing, we're gonna be done. Okay. Pull that off. Ah. Okay, so that sticky side tape is just kind of help hold it on. Okay, he's watching now. Hey, Dennis. He's watching on his iPhone. Hopefully it comes through okay. I know music watches on the iPhone either, huh? Okay. Or his phone, I think. Okay, so that's set there. Hopefully that sticky tape stays stuck. That's what that is. Okay. It's gonna make us do that, isn't it? Buffer and select attack. Okay. So here's our cooler. And we are going to shows the fan on the outside. Flowing through. Yeah, not an iPhone. Okay, so we need to look at our markings here, and we want it to blow that cool air from inside the case out. Yeah, don't worry about TeamSpeak, Dennis. I don't even have it set up, so you can't talk to me. You can only text. Okay. Okay, so let's see. So I want the air to blow through the radiator. Oh, I guess that's what those little screws are for? There's no way those little screws are gonna work. Well, they might work. Okay. So we're gonna screw this in here. I think. See how those screws look without washers. I want to use the washers on the outside screws. Let me check that just in case. Let's these other little screws here. Come on. Okay. That's the AMD stuff. So if you get an AMD processor to replace this one, you can use that. Okay, so these have grommets on them, but they're pretty big. Okay, so that screw goes right through that hole. So that's not gonna work. So if we put the washer on here, I think we're okay. Yeah. Gonna be okay there. I'm gonna put the grommet back in. And we're gonna use a washer as well. Okay, fine. We are ready for that. Okay, so we're gonna mount the fan to the radiator. And I want to see how this looks here. Okay, so we're gonna need a fan port for this, I think. Actually, I think this goes into optional. I think this would be best plugged into optional. And then this one will be plugged into CPU. CPU fan, CPU optional. Okay. And we're gonna be blowing this way. So if the fan is here, this is gonna go more than enough space, more than enough area to do that, right? Should be more than enough. I'm gonna run that across the top there. Okay, we're gonna screw these in here. Hold your fan on. And these are really tight. These are really tight. Actually screwed them into the metal of the radiator. Okay. So now this is going to sit in here. How did I do that before? Did I swap that around? I want to look at mine real quick. I don't know if I can. I think we want... I think we want it like this because we want the water in the radiator to always be in the pipes, right? We always want the water to be down here. So let me look at this real quick. Pretty sure that's how they have it here, right? When mounting it. And this we want to try to unscrew up. I have two internal SATA drives. Are they mechanical? Are they? You have two mechanical drives? Two more mechanical drives, Dennis? Yeah. Okay. So this is going to, this part is going downwards. All mechanical. Two internal SATA drives and one external drive. Okay, so the external drive is a USB drive, I'm assuming. And you'll have two more hard drives, which we can plug in here and here, that we have cables for. So we should be good to go. Okay, I'm going to lay this on the side so we can get in there. Ooh. And then it'll have a, there's a bar here it can actually rest on, it looks like. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. Puppy dog. I'm going to set this in here gently. I think I might need to redo the fan for what I did here. Darn it. It'll be okay, I think. Yeah, I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, we'll be okay. Okay. So now we're going to attempt to put these screws into here and find the hole. Okay, you got one. We are on a roll. I don't think these washers have a specific way they go, so. Error. It is such a pain in the ass to get in. Ah, got it. Okay. Okay. Two more. Okay. A sandwich in the fridge. Okay. So now I just gotta crank them down. Everything looks good. Piping looks okay. And again, these are probably the hardest screws to screw in because you're screwing it into the metal radiator. And they're more like tap holes than screw holes, right? It's just enough for you to get them started. And you gotta break the seal, I guess. All right, voila, all done. So I'm gonna run this over to CPU optional. And this is actually a 4-pin fan, which means it's you can control it, or the CPU can control it at least. You can crank it up if you need to, or slow it down. All right. That one is in. Okay, so we will need a secondary data connection for this as well. So we're gonna actually pull this apart here a little bit so that we can go 2 different ways with the cabling. Okay, so let's get our mounts. Gonna mount our what do they call these things called? Standoffs, they call these. Okay, we're gonna mount these standoffs in here so that we can mount the cooler. And the standoffs screw into the backplate holes. And again, it's just a finger tight thing, especially with these. These don't get cranked down. Okay, let's see if we can show you that. Okay. So the standoffs plug, I don't know if you can see it, the standoff here screws in, and this back plate into the back plate. And there's 4 of them. And these are actually what's going to mount the pump to your CPU. And one there. Okay, so we just finger tighten these guys down, and that's it. Okay, so now we're going to put this down on top of your CPU, and we're going to screw it down with these big bolts here, and these are going to screw into the top of those standoff screws. And sorry, you're not going to get to see this, but okay. So you don't ever take this plastic off until you're ready to do this part, because that's what is that called? CPU grease. It makes your CPU go faster. It's actually called thermal paste, and it helps the bond and helps keep your CPU cool. Okay, so we're going to do it so that Corsair is up, right? So your cables are going to be coming out the top, and it's going to sit down on here like this, kind of line it up so it looks good. Pull this plastic off your Corsair label. Now Dennis is going to have my fingerprints all over it. And we're going to pull off this plastic. Okay, because it comes pre-pasted. Okay, which is nice. Okay, so we line this up as good as we can. We don't want to move it around a lot once we get it onto the standoffs, because we don't want to move the CPU paste around. And then once I get it on there, I push it down, then I add the screws. Okay. And I'm going to tighten these down so that hopefully the pump doesn't move up or down if I let go of it by accident. Okay. Okay. And now we're going to do the cross tighten thing. Finger tight. Just keep doing it cross until you can't do it finger tight anymore. Okay. And there it is, mounted. I do take a screwdriver to it and do it finger tight, screwdriver tight. Just like that. Okay, so again, after you run it and after you do the burn in, you don't want to do it again. You just want to just tighten it down a little bit more just to make sure it's on there. Okay, so these are your this pin goes to your CPU fan header, and this one plugs into a SATA, which here it is. Connector. You got the L thing down, right? Where's the L part? There it is, L, that way. Okay, so that's plugged in. I'm gonna plug this in. What's funny is this CPU, I'm not sure what this actually powers, this fan header. I'm assuming it's the pump motor that it runs. But I think the pump motor runs at a continuous rate. But it's actually only a 1-pin connector, so I don't know what the hell it's powering. It's actually probably only powering the light. It's probably what it's powering. I'm not sure though. Okay, so we plug that down onto the CPU. Fan. Then we're going to end up tucking this cable up and away. I'm going to pull this one a little bit apart about a little bit more, so that we can get some good cable management in here, right? Goes there, that goes there, and we will come in here with zip ties. I probably most of the time use like twisty ties. Zip ties sometimes, because zip ties are a pain in the ass if you have to cut them to get them off. It depends. I'll use zip ties if we have enough. So there it is, it's mounted. Sweet. So, what do we got left? Video card, right? Put this stuff away. So Dennis, I got you the Logitech G520 Protus Spectrum mouse. Look, Dennis. Okay, so I know it's a good mouse. I know it works. And we will plug it in. It's got a cloth cable, not the plastic crap kind. It's got weights in it, so you can make it heavier or lighter. Got very good DPI settings. It's got programmable keys with the hey Crumble and Grill. How much would I be able to get if I learned how to build computers? And how are you streaming with a computer like that? How much college do you need to become an expert computer builder? You don't need any college to become an expert computer builder, I don't think. And Crumble says, I had a CPU cooler like that. It failed after a year. I've had CPU coolers like these in all of my systems, and I've never had one of them fail. To be really honest, my current system, which I'm streaming through right now, started failing. It started just turning off, blue screening, and it was the CPU cooler, but it wasn't the unit that failed. It was the thermal paste that failed because it had been on there for 5+ years, and so I removed the pump, cleaned the old thermal paste off, replaced the thermal paste with new thermal paste, put it back together, and it's been running flawlessly again. That's a 5-year-old computer that I built. So, I mean, I guess you get, I mean, sometimes you get good shit, sometimes you don't get good shit. So it's a luck of the draw, I would say, with any of this stuff. I mean, I've bought hard drives before, brand new hard drives, and they were DOA, dead on arrival. But I haven't had, knock on wood, I have not had a CPU cooler fail yet. I guess at my age, 5 years is nothing. Yeah. Smart ass. And Grill, I'm not sure what you mean by how much would you be able to get if you learned how to build computers. I mean, say it's going to take me about 4 hours to build this computer. On average, it'll take about 4 hours to build a computer. Okay, so if you're talking about $100 an hour in labor, you can make $400 per computer that you build. How's that? I would say that would be a fair price. So whatever the person pays for the parts, you add on $100 an hour to do that, right? If you're worth $100 an hour. So, and if they're willing to pay that as well. But if you send them over to Best Buy, Geek Squad, or Computer Warriors and look at the per hour rates of just looking at computers, I think it's like $100+. So you can say, you know, I'm giving you a huge discount. You can go over there and have those guys build it, but it's going to cost you even more. So and then it just depends, you know, your friends, your family, how much you're going to charge them. I built one for my brother, but I didn't charge him anything. He just paid me for the parts. He didn't pay me for my time and my expertise. Hey, that reminds me. I should charge his ass. Okay. So okay, let's get that video card in here. Okay. So once again, I love these video cards. GeForce, I don't know, NVIDIA. This is a GTX 1070 Ti. It's got 8 GB of RAM on it. This will run any game that's out there right now. And any game that's gonna be coming out. Are they actually worth it? The 70 Ti? I think so. I mean, you can go get a 2050, the 2050 RTXs for like $1,000 if you want. But, and again, if you're not worried about getting, if you're not a by the numbers type of guy about your computer, if you're not worried about my card gets 5 more frames per second than your card, my card's better than yours because it gets 5 more seconds, 5 more frames, then I mean, why spend $800 when you can spend $400? You know? That's how I look at it. Bang for your buck. I guess bang for your buck, right? I mean, is that, are you going to notice that 5 frames when you're playing games? Yeah, if you get a 1080 Ti, I would have to go look at the pricings again, but the non-Ti, a 70 Ti is cheaper than a 1080, and it is close to the same performance of a 1080. That statement assumes you're just using a video card for gaming. True, but this computer has an i7 8700 CPU in it, which has what, 6 cores? So, I mean, are you... What do you... I mean, I'm not looking to spend hundreds of dollars, thousands and thousands of dollars for a new computer. So, and I don't overclock, so that's another. What the hell is all this shit? Oh, more CDs. What they need to start sending USB drives now, I think, right? Because not many people have CD-ROM drives anymore. So that's just a box inside the box. That's pretty cool. But here is our video card. I mean, if you're on a budget, what do, right? If say you only have $1,500 to spend, what is the best you can do with that? You know, what can you get, and what do you want to skimp on, and what don't you want to skimp on? You know, if you have a budget, if you don't have a budget, then hell yeah, I get the 1080 Ti, I get the 8700K or the 9800, whatever that one is, the $1,000 processor, whatever one that one is, and I get the 1000-watt power supply, and I get 3 terabyte SSD drives, and yeah, I mean, but a lot of people have a limit of what they can do. A lot of people, $1,500 is too much. They can't spend that much money. $1,000 would be a lot for someone to spend. So you got to look at what your pricing is and what's available and what you can get more, you know, the more bang for your buck, right? So that's the way I kind of look at it. And okay. just always felt kind of weird about the 1070 Ti even existing. Okay. Look at this card. This is pretty. Doesn't go with our scheme though. It's got orange on it. But you really won't see the orange. You're only going to see the Gigabyte on the side. And because this has RGB fusion on it, this Gigabyte and fan stop that light up, you can change those to any color you want. I'm not into all the orientation of the cards. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just want something that works, right? Just give me something that works, lasts a long time, and will do what I want it to do. The colors and schemes and all this other stuff. RGB lighting, overclocking. I just don't, me myself, I'm not into that. If you're into that, that's great. More power to you. You know, you do what you do, I do what I do. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pull a couple of these back slots off. This takes up 2 slots. Yeah. Well, again, it depends on your case, right? Are you going to get a case that's clear and you can see all that stuff, that you can mount your video card in a lower slot, and that will allow you to see the top of it if you look in, right? If I mounted the video card on this bottom slot, you would be able to look in if there was a window there, and you would be able to see the top of the, actually that's the bottom of the card, isn't it? Yeah. You're screwed. You can't see it. Yeah, you'll see the backplate that says Gigabyte. So, yeah, I guess looks, I don't know, man. Okay, so we're gonna put this puppy in here. Okay. Voila. Okay. Put the screws back in. Pray this works. Well, you can also get custom cases where, you know, it's mounted, you can have like an extender board and you can mount it so that you can see the top of the card. You can, you know, all that weird stuff if you like that stuff. Vertical brackets with temps are crap then. Yeah. You just have to hope for the best, I guess. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna plug in, and this only takes an 8-pin PCI. So we're gonna plug that one in here. And we're going to plug this into the video card. Nope. Right. I think that is everything. I don't know how we're going to do this other. Hard drive. I'm trying to think how we can set this up. Dennis. Says he has 2 more hard drives. And there you go. There's the video card mounted. Okay. I really want that hard drive to go back further, but it won't go back. What is stopping it from going? I'm gonna slide another hard drive in there and see. Got so much shit. So much shit. I pulled one out that already had screws in it. Yeah, I don't want to do that, Dennis. Had to file off the tabs. I mean, this should work in here, right? I shouldn't have to file off any freaking tabs. Oh. Huh. This one fits exactly the same way, which means it doesn't fit. What if we flip it? No? Same thing. There is a set of tabs in here, but that's way too much to file. Oh! I got it. I figured it out. I got it. I figured it out. Okay, it goes this way. That's the way it goes, and it attaches from the back. It doesn't insert from the back, but it does attach from the back. So that makes it a little bit easier. Okay, we got this. We got this. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I figured it out. Okay, so I'm gonna plug in these other two cables for you. And I'll route them back there. So all you have to do is push the hard drives in, attach your data, and then attach your power, and you'll be set. You'll be set. So these are going to go to the back. And I will do cable management. Right now we just want to get these through, get it set up, make sure it works. And then I can go through and do the cable management, make it really well, make it done good really well. Okay. So that's coming through there. Let's plug these next two in. That one there. That one there. And these both also go to the back. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay. And this cable's more than long enough to attach 1, 2, 3, 4 drives. You only have 2, so we good to go, bro. We good to go. Okay. I'm gonna put it in the next one down. Oh. Here, make sure snapped in, locked in. We are good. I guess we can put those over there. That's and we just tuck those in there as well for now. Okay, so it's clean on this side. It's flat on this side. So you'll just insert the drives in this way with the connectors going to the back, and they'll snap right in. 2 more drives. Leave that space there for air gap. Leave that top space there. Okay, let's double check our wiring. Plugged in there, plugged in there. This is where I get nervous. Plugged in, plugged in, plugged in. All those are seated. Plugged in. Plugged in, plugged in. Okay. Give it a CD-ROM as well. Oh my god. Not anymore, you don't. CD-ROM. Well, it only comes with 4 SATA cables, so you have to get another SATA cable. And you just plug it in, run it up, and you can actually plug the CD-ROM in with one of these up here. If you still want a CD-ROM drive. Nothing works with CD-ROM drives anymore anyway, right? Okay. Okay, we're getting the monitor and the keyboard mouse set up right now. Actually, yeah, we're gonna do that. you guys see in there? This is where this is again where I get nervous. This is the last part. Plugging in a monitor. Plugging in a network cable. Plug it in, plug it in. And plug it in power. Why does this thing feel lopsided? This is a desk. This is old ass desk I have. Okay. Let's get this stuff out of the way. That goes there. There. That's right, I'm making you suffer. Okay. That's plugged in, that's plugged in. Do hold on. Hold on. What time is it anyway? 9:41. 7, 8, 9, 2 hours, 7, 8, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. 3 hours now, I guess. You see that? See that? Suffered succotash. Keyboard mouse. Oh, the power cord. I see lights. It's a good sign. Reboot and select proper boot device, or insert boot media in selected boot device and press key. Okay. It booted with no beeps and no errors. I think this is a Windows 10 stick. Let's see. You plug that in. You probably want to do, we want to get into BIOS first, right? I think. Should we try to get into BIOS first? Oh, there we go. What was that? There we go. BIOSO. I can't see the stupid thing. I have to stand over here. Let's see. Whoa! Can you guys still see that? Mostly? Partially? Let's see if we can slide this a little bit further this way. We're looking at MIT here, whatever the hell that is. Numlock. Alt equals help. Okay. We need to save that. These are two drives. That's our MX drive. That's our SSD drive. That's our Barracuda drive. See what I hit last time. I think I hit delete, the delete key. Okay, it is. Okay, CPU frequency 4.301. Temperature 35 degrees. Memory frequency 3 gigahertz, 16 gig. Good job. CPU, fine. I'm not going to mess with any of those other settings. BIOS version F4. BIOS date 2017. 09/2017. That's actually pretty good. Is that the time? Is it 10/28 or is it 9/28? I'll fix it later. Okay, numlock on boot up. Yes. Boot option 1. We want our 500 gig boot drive. Fast boot. Easy RAID. I'll go through all this stuff later. It looks like everything looks okay. Save and exit. Okay, we're gonna put this stick in this time and boot to that. Can you see the lit up Gigabyte? It's pretty quiet too. Okay, it looks like it went to the USB drive. There we go. Ugh. Okay, I'm going to do this real quick here. Next. Install. Activate Windows. Sir, activate Windows. Key number. Alpha. X-ray. Foxtrot. Charlie. Oh, yeah, I'm not showing you guys this. Hopefully I did that right. What does Windows think? Didn't work. Okay. Let me put on my glasses. My reading glasses. Oh, there's a mistake. Oh my god, 2 mistakes. Try this again. Next. Come on, baby. Okay, we'll do this later. I don't have a product key right now. Continue. You're doing Windows Pro, Windows 10 Pro next. I accept. Custom. That drive. Next. Okay, that's it, man. We are done. It is installing Windows. No error beeps, no warnings. Fans are spinning, lights are lit. I will go and check all the USB ports. I will plug USB drives in them once it's up and running. And make sure they're all active, make sure they're all working. I will plug in Dennis, if you want me to plug in the new mouse and get that all installed as well, I'll do that as well if you want me to. Give me a text. And I'll let it burn in all night long, all day tomorrow. Make sure we don't have any issues. Then I'll do the cable management and we'll be done. What time do we start? What is my time frame here? 3 hours. That took less than 3 hours. I'm getting a lot faster at this. Yes, I will do that. No problem, Dennis. I'll make sure you got all the newest drivers, updated drivers, and all that stuff. I need a drink. Hold on. What time is it? 29? Oh. Still 10 o'clock. That means I probably won't get to do any gaming tonight. I might do a little bit. Ugh. I'm definitely happy that everything worked. This is the third system I've done where everything has worked. I'm so happy about that. I haven't had any DOAs or anything. And I haven't had to do any push-ups either. Hello. Getting ready. 95%. Let's go, man. Faster. Installing features, updating. Oh, installing updates. This is the one that usually takes the longest. Oh. Oh. Restarting. Oh, you can't see the power supply. You won't have that much crap. Game the Cup Dog. I decided to pop in during Windows installation of all times. Sorry you missed it. I will upload the video to my YouTube channel once I'm done. Once we're done, so you can actually watch it if you want to and see what we did. Welcome to the channel, by the way. Windows. United States, US, skip. Oh, updates, more updates. Don't need any updates. Don't need no stinking updates. Set up for organization. Join a domain instead. Who's going to use this PC? They just put Dennis? I'll wait 30 seconds for you to see me ask you that question. If I spell it right. The I doesn't work. I think you can change it later. Okay. Make Cortana or no? Turn all that shit off. Don't use it. Microsoft does not need to know what you're doing, okay? Accept. That should be it, Dennis. I mean, all I'm gonna do now is just get stuff installed, and let it burn in through the night. Make sure everything's okay, and then start installing other stuff that needs to be installed. Oh, I saw Theory 3. Oh, I saw Siri. Do not turn off your PC. They may run through it again. We have a Corsair semi-modular power supply, TX 750 watt modular power supply. We have a Gigabyte NVIDIA GT, what the hell is it? GTX 1070 Ti. We have one 2 terabyte Sega Barracuda mechanical drive. We have one crucial 1 terabyte SSD drive. We have Corsair i60 H60 all-in-one cooler. We have a Intel i7 8700 CPU. We have 16 gig of Corsair Vengeance 300 megahertz RAM. What does this say? Oh, this is Microsoft wanting me to do something. We ain't doing it. There you go, we're in. I'll have to go in and activate that other hard drive. Okay, that's it for today. I think that's everything, I think. Oh, and the case is a Corsair 200R. Very, very simple case. And not too expensive. So yeah, that's it. Oh, and the motherboard is a Z370 XP SLI. Extra durable. Here's a lot of, that's the motherboard. That's it, man. Hopefully this will last 10 or 15 years. Oh. Okay, other than that, I'm going to say good night, people. Good night, people. Gonna end the stream now. Hope you've enjoyed. Like I said before, I am going to upload it to my YouTube channel, where you can watch it, or you can just watch the VOD, rewatch the VOD on this channel, but it only lasts for a couple weeks before they delete it. So I will upload it to my YouTube channel. And we will talk to you later. Normal stream times are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Sundays. Let's pull it up here. So Mondays. Oh, thanks for the follow, Dennis. I didn't even see you do that. It didn't make any noise. Probably because we were on that special channel. We were on the special. Let's see. Let's see. Gotta have that pop up, right? You're gonna do it? Of course not. Why would it do it? Why would it work for me now? So, but yeah, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Sundays, and then any other time I'm able. Good night, people.